This is today the collective feeling of a group we call the Millennials. These people somewhere within their late teens and early 30s. That's the feeling. Things fall apart. Innocence is drowned. Frustration reigns supreme. And all around, the specters of depression and suicide are not only threats, they are realities being experienced at epidemic levels. This is what happens when great potential and overwhelming nurturing arrive on the scene only to discover disillusion, the trap, the inescapable dead end. So many gadgets, but no tools. A bunch of connections, but no friends. A ton of progress, but no growth. A world of promise, but no results. It's confusing, and the feeling shows up as frustration. It plays out as anger. It borders on guilt, flirts with shame. And the whole bloody thing is wrapped up in the very real and taunting insecurity. Millennials are the people looking for revolutions to lead. They're the ones who came to break things. They're clever and selectively impatient. They swear no allegiance to the norms. To them, tradition is convenient but not necessary. Authority is suspect, and the only thing they really believe in is change. Momentum and movement are their gospels. Ideas and possibilities are their prophets. And their holy grail is the pursuit of relevance. Just on time isn't good enough for millennials. They want it right now. All of it. All the love, all the glory, all the meaning, all the impact. They want it now. Right now. They don't want easy, but they want it now. They'll work for it, but they want it now. So they're criticized for not being team players. And they reply, "What team? We don't recognize a team." They're criticized for their lack of humility. And they reply, "Be humble? For what? We don't respect the same thing." They're criticized because their rhetoric doesn't match their experience. And they reply, "So what?" And yet they feel the truth of these verdicts. The experience isn't there. And their insecurity shows it. But when students cannot find teachers, they make it up as they go. Because what's driving millennials is the fear that they'll wake up one day, the grim realization that for them, life is to be lived somewhere within the painfully safe and narrow margins of okay and good enough. That amazing is out of reach, and that life is nothing more than a constant quarrel with the world. To be a millennial is to be, in a way, privileged. And that doesn't mean you've somehow avoided the strains and trials of life. It doesn't mean that you grew up without real issues, or that your family wasn't dysfunctional, or your sense of self and identity weren't compromised, or that the ghost of where you came from and what happened to you don't still haunt you. Being privileged means that millennials are living in an era of dreams. They're living in the middle of a dream. A reality the world could only dream about just 30 years ago. They're living at a time when ideas become realities in a matter of hours, not years, where success is earned but can be hacked. They're living at a time where waiting in line to do anything is an option, not a requirement. They're walking around with more computing power in their pockets and handbags than it took to get to the moon just over half a century ago. Millennials are living in dream times where magic is placed in their hands and the only commandment is go. But they're stuck. They're struggling to push the gates open and they're misunderstood. Their wounds are real and self-inflicted. They crave connection but don't understand relationship. They enjoy sex, but don't understand intimacy. They want love, but don't understand pain. They want impact, but neglect foundation. And everyone seems to be asking the same question. Where is this all going? Well, let me talk to my people. I am a millennial. I was born into this thing in '84, and it's been a wild ride so far. I had some great times in the Midwest, some good laughs, but also some painful nights. I watched my parents try and saw them walk away. I said goodbye to a good friend in a dream. I couldn't do it in person because she was shot in the head the way to school. A month later, Columbine happened. Learned a few lessons and got a few scars. When I looked up, Twin Towers were falling. 9/11 taught me about fear and what it does to people. We went off to war and I went up to school. Terror alerts and school shootings became the norm. Hidden anxieties and mistrust. I heard about a kid called Zuckerberg, and a few years later he changed the world. Then the world collapsed, some bankers got richer and a bunch of people got screwed. We occupied Wall Street for a bit, but that fell apart. Then Obama said, yes we can, and I guess we did, because I woke up one morning and Twitter made a government fall. What a spring that was. I lost my job and went broke chasing a dream. But the student loan people didn't care, they still wanted their money. Then Snowden dropped a bombshell, and that made me feel like an enemy of the state. And now the mission is make America great again. But what am I supposed to do? Trust again? I'm a millennial. We all have our stories. The scripts may be different, but the backdrop is the same. Our collective and undiagnosed trauma is the same. We never learned to heal, so technology helped us run. We grew up as participants of shock after shock. Had no time to heal, no time to process. Just on to the next thing and fast. Some of us saw Columbine happen, but all of us caught the grimmer version play out on Sandy Hook. We tried to heal after Columbine, started to feel safe again. Then 9/11 happened. A year later, we were off to war because we believed in something. Then a year after that, we knew we'd been lied to, and weapons of mass destruction became a joke. That destroyed any trust we had in authority, and sent us searching for something to believe in. And 5 years later, the Great Recession happened. And we learned all about moral-free banking. That destroyed our faith and sent us in search of new systems to pull down the old ones. Then we woke up and realized the suffocating realities of student loans. And that took away our hope. So tell me, when were we supposed to heal? How are we supposed to behave when the environment we were designed to thrive in is making us sick? And great things, amazing things happened too. And they happened fast, and the impact was immediate, and the relevance was deep. We were there. We helped a kid called Zuckerberg change the world. We were there. We lined up to help a visionary reimagine life with a tool called a smartphone. We were there. We watched it all as America did the impossible and elected a black man as president. We saw magic happen. We saw it happen fast. We identified with it. We had the tools to do it. But we're just a little too sick. We're just a little too jaded. We're a little too desperate. But can you blame us? We're looking for balance and relevance on what sometimes feels like a crashing wave. And sometimes that wave does crash. And there you are, feeling like you're drowning, running out of time. How dare you not understand why I need it now, all of it. All the love, all the relevance, all the impact. I want it now. How dare you not understand that I'm running out of time? I'm talking about a feeling. I'm trying to show you a bit of what it can feel like to be us. I'm doing this for you, but I'm really doing this for us. You see, I'm not afraid to look in the mirror and point the finger at us. We're to blame too. We have our stories, we have our frustrations, we have our damage, but we don't have an agenda. I'm not sure there's been a generation like ours before, for many reasons, and for the clear and simple reasons that millennials don't have an agenda. We don't. Everything is not an answer. We don't have specifics. That's how we let the whole Occupy thing get away from us. That's why politicians don't really take us seriously. It's the reason advertisers spend billions selling us on crap. It's the reason our technology is making better use of us than we are of it. It's the reason bankers get away with billions and corporations get away with murder. We don't have a collective agenda, so we're the willing guinea pigs of bad morals and even worse ideas. We're the misused and abused targets of other people's agendas. I'm not pointing fingers. This is on us. What do we want? Where there's no agenda, there's no vision. Where there's no vision, there's no mission. And where there's no mission, there's no purpose. There's no relevance. And there's no peace. Agendas are powerful things. They speak to vision. And when there's a vision, there's potential, there's life, there's energy, there's growth. Regret does not offer redemption. It doesn't offer absolution or forgiveness. Regret only offers regret. So, to my people, to the millennials, I say it's time we not only remember, but take to heart that African proverb. Until the lions have their own historians, the hunt will forever glorify the hunter. What do we want our story to be? What do we want to be remembered for? What mark do we want to leave? Our generation has either been burdened or gifted with the greatest opportunity the world has ever known. The history of our generation will be written either by our frustrations and regrets, or by our decision to create a different sort of brave new world. A world where the product of our nurture and nature is not simply a shinier version of an old world, but rather the reimagined reality of life, love, compassion, and humanity. Maybe we're the ones who came to create a world where magic is the norm.